Welcome to You're Doing It Wrong with Coach PJ. Today we're going to go through one of the most common exercises and also one of the most butchered exercises in the gym, the pull-up. The pull-up is one of my favorite exercises of all time. It's an excellent exercise for developing upper body strength, for developing all the posterior muscles of the upper body, all the pulling musculature of the upper body. It can be so beneficial for so many reasons, but it's also butchered by most people in most gyms. So I'm going to show you how most people do the pull-up. I'll tell you why this is ineffective, and I'll show you the right way to do a pull-up and why that's going to be much more beneficial for you. So Chase is here with me. He's going to go ahead and jump up to a pull-up position, and he's going to bang out a couple of reps like you see most people do in the gym. Little half reps where he's kind of swinging his body up and down. He's got his back arched. He's got his feet bent. Good, you can relax. He's using a ton of momentum, and he's only getting about halfway up because the hardest point of the pull-up is actually that top half. So he's only going to train himself through this lower end range of motion. And this is what most people do. They'll use a weight belt or whatever because they want to look like they're strong, and they'll bang out 5 crappy pull-ups in this little half range of motion using their momentum. So that's going to be really ineffective for training. Obviously, if we're trying to train Chase's back, we're trying to train his biceps and all the muscles that are doing the work here, it's going to be a lot more effective if we can train him through a full range of motion. And he's never going to build up the strength to do a full pull-up if he's only training through this partial range of motion. So now I'm going to show you a much better way to do a pull-up, and we'll talk about the differences. So Chase will get set up in position here. He's going to hang straight. He's going to tuck his tailbone and get his feet out slightly in front of him. So he's going to create some good tension through his whole body here. And he's going to maintain that tension. Now he's going to go ahead and pull himself up. He's going to lean back a little bit and pull his sternum to the bar. You can come down. You don't have to hold up there. Just give me like 2 reps. So his goal is trying to get his sternum to the bar. Excellent. So you notice he's taking out some of the momentum there, and there's nothing wrong with using momentum. We'll get into that in a second, but he's pulling his sternum all the way to the bar, so he's going through that full range of motion. Now, if he didn't have the strength to do that, a much more effective way than just training that partial range of motion would be having me as his partner help him to finish those reps, and then he can control the eccentrics through that top end range. That way he'll eventually build the strength in that portion where he's weak rather than just train the part where he's strong. He's keeping his feet out in front of him. That's keeping his body in a nice straight line, his core locked in tight, and increasing the tension through his whole body so that it's going to increase the neural drive so that he can get more muscle doing more work. He was leaning back a little bit. Another problem people have sometimes, they try to stay too vertical in pull-ups, and that's actually going to be less effective for training the lats. So if he keeps a slight lean back, it's going to put him in a more effective position for training the lats and using his lats to do a lot of the work. And finishing that full range of motion is now going to train him through a full range of motion, so it's going to be much more effective for building muscle. We've seen in endless amounts of research that full range of motion is much more effective for training and building muscle than partial range of motion. So that's a much more effective way for training the pull-up. Again, use a partner or use some eccentrics or isometrics at the top if you're unable to finish those reps so that you can build up the strength to actually do full pull-ups. It can be a great exercise for training your upper body, for building some upper body strength and hypertrophy, but you have to do it the right way.